All the things I'm gonna do to you later on. I'm gonna play you all night long. No, don't worry, I'll share you. I'll stream you. Don't worry about Mario and Assassin's Creed. We've been together for so many years, you and I. Almost 14 years. I've loved you and cherished you. And now you're all dressed up on the Xbox One. Oh! Sorry guys, welcome to the Wednesday's edition of the gaming news, opinions / reactions. And today's topics are going to be about a former Bioware worker. He's talking about EA. That's right, he's talking behind your back. Well, not really. And a surprise find on the Nintendo Switch that is related to the beautiful thing that is called the Nintendo Gamecube. And the rest of it's just going to be the quick news today. So guys, don't forget, if your opinion's already made up on today's topic, don't forget to leave your comments in that little section down below.
Mad Mikeey Gaming.
G'day Mad Gamers, I'm Mad Mikeey and I come from the bloody land down under. And as we spoke about, there's some pretty controversial news out there today. But before we get into it guys, don't forget, if you do like today's video, give it a thumbs up and be a mate. Share and subscribe with your friends. Ring a ding 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 ding. That notification bell so you never miss a video of Mad Mikeey Gaming. So into the news today. The big one that I read, there was a big headline that said EA pushing for more open world games because you can monetize them better. So in a podcast over on Waypoint, which is via Eurogamer, former Bioware gameplay designer Manveer Hair, who worked on the multiplayer in Mass Effect 3, and they were obviously talking about how EA was sort of what they did with Mass Effect and how they're sort of all the news out there that they don't really give two stuffs about, your single player games. And he came out and he said they are generally pushing for more open world games, and the reason is that you can monetize them better. Why do you care about that, EA? The reason you can care about that is because microtransactions. Buying card packs in the Mass Effect games, the multiplayer. It's the same reason we added the card packs to Mass Effect 3. How do you get people to keep coming back to a thing instead of just playing for 60 to 100 hours? Hare touched on the subject of bloated game budgets, often pushing that past the $100 million mark, and according to the designer, this doesn't leave room for mid-tier, single-player only games with a smaller budget because publishers in general only care about the highest return on their investments. They don't actually care about what the players want, they care about what the players will pay for. Hare gave an example of transactions or microtransactions in Mass Effect multiplayer, which made so much money that EA decided to have a similar multiplayer mode in Dragon Age Inquisition and of course Andromeda. He went and said, and I found this just... I've seen people literally spend $15,000 on Mass Effect multiplayer cards, he recalled. Alright, $15,000 is a metric beep ton of money to be spending. Like, I did play a bit of the Mass Effect 3 online mode, but it wasn't really my cup of tea. I don't think this is any real huge surprise, about what EA is doing. Look, I know companies are out there to make money, and I've said in my previous video that yeah, maybe they should start charging more for these single player games because they are costing so much money. Prices haven't risen up, development costs are going up, so obviously they want to make a return on their money. Let's look at GTA 5. They haven't charged a penny for any of their online add-ons, any of the extra things. You basically pay for what you want to play. I suppose EA is doing this, but at the same time, they're sort of cutting out the bit that, people like me really love, and that is single player. And I don't want to pay extra to get to that next bit. Maybe that's what it'll turn out to be one day. maybe that's the day video games die. But not today, Jack. And in some really interesting news, the Nintendo Switch has come out and it's actually got some GameCube support. Recently, a guy over on Twitter just sort of tweeted out that, look, if you put the adapter in for the from the Wii U, sorry, you can actually connect up your GameCube controller. Now, it's not an official one. We're just going to put it out there. It takes a couple of times to actually get this going, so you have to like click the left and right button a couple of times for it to sort of pair, but eventually it does work, and that obviously prompted a lot of people on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and everything to start posting them, playing games like Zelda and Sonic and stuff like that, so it is working on a lot of the games. It doesn't come as a surprise. I mean, the GameCube controller is such a loved controller for the Smash Brothers community out there. A lot of people are obviously jumping to the conclusion that this may very well mean that we will see some GameCube compatibility on the Nintendo Switch, which I would personally love. I don't know which games they'd put on there, because the GameCube did have quite a lot of amazing third-party games. First party, one there. I mean, Super Mario Sunshine wasn't really the best Super Mario game there is out there, but let's look at it. I'd say that this will just be Nintendo being Nintendo. They know that their Smash Brothers community does love that controller, so they want to keep that community happy because it is so large, and they do sort of keep things relevant a lot. So I'm not really fussed. I'm not that much of a Smash Brothers fan. Like, I like it, I like to play it, I'm just crap at it. But yeah, are you guys excited about being able to use the GameCube controller? Let me know. And in the last bit, because there isn't that much news today, we'll just go straight to the quick news! Now, in news that probably no one cares about, and I was quite surprised to see it, Metal Gear Survive has got a release date today. It is coming out in the United States on February 20, and 2 days later, it's getting its European release, so that's obviously going to be in Australia and New Zealand and everything. There hasn't been a date actually set for Australia and New Zealand, but it normally goes to the PAL territories 2 days later. I'd be interested to know if anybody's actually looking forward to this game. PS4 firmware update 5.01 came out, so you may sort of turn it on and see that it's there. Nothing really spectacular for this one, guys. It's just basically improved system performance. It's about 350 meg, so don't be sort of looking for anything. That's all they've told us. So it's generally just probably a response to the big 5.01. And in some actually really interesting news, Planet of the Apes, The Final Frontier, which is a tie-in with the obviously Planet of the Apes movies that are out there, actually got released on the PlayStation Store for $29.99, and then it all of a sudden disappeared. So I think somebody pressed the button a bit too quickly there. You can press the subscribe button for me really quickly if you really want. But yeah, so IGN actually purchased it. So obviously if you have purchased it, it's yours, you can play it. They're not gonna let you not play something that you paid for, obviously. They've actually got 6 minutes of the gameplay on there. I haven't actually watched it yet, so I'll probably watch it. But, you know, I want to play this. Oh, I've been waiting for it. But guys, that's it for today's gaming news, opinions, and reactions. Comment in the section down below, give it a thumbs up, and share and subscribe with your mates. I'll probably see you guys tomorrow, whether there's news or you'll probably see me streaming this. But until then, guys, enjoy the games that you are playing, and I will see you when I see you. Bye, guys.